Coach this past week had a bye in the middle of the week, and then on the weekend had a 2-0 win over St. Mary's. Talk about what the bye meant for your team to kind of rest up a little bit, and your performance against the Rattlers.
Yeah, I think the bye was a good opportunity for us to just kind of refocus on what we need to do. Just a good, I wouldn't say a reset, but just a time for us to be able to get going and training on some little things that we needed to work on. So for us, some things working on winning the challenges in the air, that kind of thing. I think that's going to lead into this week as well with Tyler coming in. So yeah, just a little bit of a reset, just kind of focus, get back on their homework, get their sleep right, all that kind of stuff. So it was nice.
And a couple weeks ago, you mentioned the importance of players doing their jobs. So just tell me about the growth you've seen from them over time and how it's translated to your recent success during this winning streak.
Yeah, I think we're starting to become consistent. I think they understand their job and they're getting that done. And that sounds really simple, but being able to rely on a player to do what they do consistently and not up and down, it's really nice and helpful for them. It makes everybody being on the same page a heck of a lot easier.
And you've pulled off 4 straight wins, all funny enough by the exact same score, 2-0.
Yeah.
So does that say more about your team's offense and its ability to score and take big leads, or your defense? And credit to goalkeeper Mel Martinez as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just sort of a weird stat right now, but I'd continue it as long as I could. It'd be good. So the 2-0 results, I mean, we know that we want to press early and we want to cause the other team's problems, and I think that we're doing a good job of that. And I think that we're reaping the rewards of that with scoring some early goals. And then the other part I think is our team defending has gotten better. If you go back to St. Ed's, we go up 2-0 and then we end up tying the game. And there's been some other results too with Lubbock Christian. I felt like Metro. I felt all of our draws could have been a different way. But we've had the difficulty with trying to shuffle in and out different forwards. And I think now we've found a rotation, the minutes, all those kind of things are starting to work and do really well. And so I think that we'll look at trying to keep that. Even on Saturday, we played in the second half. We really only made 3 subs with the 2 wingers that they should put on a ton of miles, and then the center forward. Those were our 3 subs. And usually in the second half, I would say we probably sub between 8, 10, something like that. And we didn't do that. And I think that's a credit to the players that were in, keeping their focus for longer periods of time, which again leads us into allowing fewer goals. And so that I think was a big factor for us, at least on Wednesday, is again that consistency in what we're doing. We don't get caught up in good defending and then become complacent.
And you mentioned fast starts. I did the math. Your team is, and for the last 6 games, you scored a goal within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So just how do you consistently keep this going? Is this something you teach in practice?
Well, no, I wouldn't say we teach it in practice, but what I think probably happens is that our team wants to start out high energy pressing, and I think that teams come in and you watch it on film and it looks one way, and I think when you're out there and dealing with it, it's a different thing. And so I think that we can exert a little bit better energy in the start of the match, and I think that that's helped us create those chances. Good turnovers in good spots when other teams are shifting from defending to pushing up into attack, and now all of this space that's left behind, now we can attack, and I think we've benefited from that in the last several games.
Coach, now that y'all are on this 4-game win streak, how are the girls handling it, and do you think that they've kind of settled in, like, oh yeah, this is what we've supposed to be doing this entire time now that y'all climb back up the conference standings?
I hope that the effort and I hope that the collaboration that they have when they're out there playing, I hope those things are getting better and they feel more confident that those things will continue to happen with good work from them. I hope that it's not, now everything's fixed, we're good. We can just relax and wins will come to us. I don't think that we're that team. We don't have that kind of attacking power to make that happen just at the snap of the finger. So I think that hopefully we can keep that sense of humility and understand that we have to keep working hard to get where we're at. To me, this season reminds me a little bit of 2023, where we started off in a bit of a rut and we had to deal with some things and we dealt through it. I really felt that the staff did a great job in 23 in pushing that and getting them out of that funk and then finishing the season in 3rd place. I don't know where we'll finish this year, but I like the trend that we're going toward right now.
Coach, you mentioned the rotation during the game. well, we started the season as being Grayson Rasmussen and Emily Thames at the top of your formation. Now we're seeing more Jillian Greaves get in there more. What was the thought behind making her more in the rotation at the top, and what does she bring that the other two may not be able to at the top of your formation?
Well, the first one was an injury.
No,
Thames was out for 2 weeks, so
There you go.
we said, well, let's move on to our fifth choice of a forward. And so we had thought about maybe trying Lexi, our number 22 up front there, and felt like that probably wasn't the best place for her to play with her back to goal. Jillian is a freshman, but she's super strong. She's technically good. She finds good passing angles. I wish she had a little more killer instinct in the penalty area. I think that's one area where she's a little bit lacking of some other players like a Berzikas. But she just keeps on doing well. She doesn't give the ball away as often. She's a problem in the penalty area. I don't think she didn't get the goal. I'm trying to think back to this. On Saturday, the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I forget how was the second goal created, but I thought when I looked at film, Jillian was in there and caused part of that turnover, I thought. I can't remember.
I believe so.
I can't
I'm trying to remember too. I can't remember.
Yeah, but anyways, Jillian's just doing a good job of pressing. That's one thing that is different between her and Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Grayson can't press with the same amount of time that Jillian can, and so Jillian can help us with that. And as a freshman, man, it doesn't matter where you're playing. If you can get minutes and get in, it's great, and it should help her confidence tremendously. So I'd like to see her get some more goals. She got her first against Sil Ross. That was great. I hope that she's got some more in her in the upcoming games.
And then over the course of this solid form they are in, is there anybody who maybe isn't getting as much attention that's been standing out to you, has been with improvement, or maybe just being pretty key to your victories thus far?
I think there's a couple. I think that Whitney's done a good job for us. I don't think, we talked to her about her technique and she's got to continue to work on it. But the one thing that she does is whenever Whitney Newbell loses the ball, she will immediately turn and go and chase and try and win that ball back, which is something that we try and get everybody to do. She's one of the ones that I can count on. She's going to do that all the time. The other part, I think, is Emily Jones. I think she's a sophomore. She's come in and played a pivotal role for us as a sophomore and done really well. I think she deserves a lot of credit because, nobody knew who she was last year. And now she's come in. She's a regular player playing, 70 to 90 minutes and doing great for us. And then I think Mel's kind of an obvious, but she's been around. She just hasn't been playing as much. She's done great. The last one that I think has done fantastic and especially was amazing on Saturday, and that was Harper. She is just determined to not let players beat her. And her pace, I don't think that many people talk about that. And then her strength, just really good, really smart. I wish she could get some goals on set pieces, her and Tina, but we're continuing to work on that. But yeah, I would say those players are probably under the radar.
And then, of course, last question. You have some pretty solid competition this week, hosting UT Tyler on Wednesday and then traveling to Wichita Falls to play Midwestern State. Both teams ahead of you on the table in the conference. What do you anticipate from those matchups, and what do you expect against them this week?
I think one of the messages that I'll be sharing with the girls is just about, do you want to play at home or do you want to play away if we make the conference tournament, And those games will help determine that, because I think that if you were able to get 2 wins, one at home, one on the road, I think that helps us out tremendously in that battle based on the rankings and based on how the tiebreakers go and all that kind of stuff. It would be an amazing thing for us this week to get it. Now, having said that, Tyler is very direct, very physical, and we're going to have to be fantastic at winning aerial challenges. And then Midwestern is always good, and they've got a girl in there, Nixley, that's doing very well. We recruited her, wanted her to come to us, and then she made the last-minute decision to go there, and she's done very well for them. Both teams scrappy. I would say Midwestern is even a little extra scrappy. They're going to be really tough games in short order back-to-back. And you play 2 physical games back-to-back, it is hard. If I wish I could have the break this week in between those 2. But it is what it is. We'll do our part to get good recovery in, make sure the girls get rest, and travel. We'll play the game Wednesday and then travel to Midwestern and do our best to get two results.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.